Since the early 2000s, the creation of the internet has connected the globe and created an information superhighway. In 2018, at least 90% of adults in the United States reported to the Pew Research Center that they were avid internet users. In a world where most people use the internet, news spreads fast. The natural conclusion one would make from a world where information can spread across the globe in a matter of 5 minutes would be that the internet has allowed for society to get accurate information much faster and thus progresses society exponentially. However, do people truly learn the important information? A 2014 study found that only 41% of Americans spent time researching their news to make sure they were as informed as possible about current events. The majority, 59% of Americans, mostly read newspaper headlines rather than read an entire article. This idea of compressing information is supported by social media lingo, such as TLDR, which stands for Too Long Didn't Read. Posts on social media that are more than about 2 paragraphs usually include a TLDR summary of about 3 to 4 sentences at the beginning or end of the post. This existence of such a term supports the idea that Americans prioritize reading as little as possible over understanding the entire story told. On March 20th, 2019, CNN published an article with the headline, "Drinking hot tea almost doubles risk of esophageal cancer, new study says." To most Americans, it can be concluded from this headline that the tea itself may contain substances linked to cancer. However, a closer examination of the article itself shows that any extremely hot liquid could increase the risk of cancer. Tea is put into the headline due to its popularity as a drink, but it is not in itself a cause of cancer. Due to the misleading title, this headline was changed to "Drinking very hot tea almost doubles risk of cancer, new study says." Despite the change, tea is still stated as the cause, and the headline can still be interpreted incorrectly. On November 13th, 2020, The Hill published an article stating, "Park Service faces $270 million lawsuit after death in Arches Mastro Park." If one were to read just this headline, they could infer that the death may have occurred through a fall, as this is one of the most common causes of death in mountainous national parks. This inference could also make the lawsuit seem unjust to a reader of the article, because parks are not responsible for deaths by natural causes. However, this death was not a natural cause. With information from other sources, the death can be explained completely, as this specific article leaves out key details such as the explicit cause of death. Esther Nakajigo, a visitor to the park, was killed when the entrance gate to the park was blown by the wind and pierced through the passenger side of her car, decapitating her. The lawsuit claims that others have suffered the same fate as Esther, and that a simple padlock would have prevented the death. From the headline published by The Hill, a reader would have only known the cost of the lawsuit, but would have completely missed the reasoning. From these examples, it is clear that even large news sources that are often deemed as reputable can have misleading headlines that do not accurately tell the reader about the information. In a world where over 2 million articles are published every day, the likelihood that some of the articles are misleading is extremely high. In 2021, America is plagued by issues of racism, human rights, and politics, and it can be argued that these issues are hindering the growth of America as a nation and are ruining global perception of the country. As misleading news and facts are spread, the issues cannot be resolved. People can read a headline from a news source they believe is trustworthy and may come to conclusions that support racist or anti-Semitic ideologies. Without careful research, the information era, as the current generation is called, can easily become a time of ideological warfare and misdirection by organizations to push their own agendas. It is extremely important to read information from a variety of sources and to comprehend the information thoroughly rather than jump to conclusions that may be completely inaccurate.